Hi, this is IBM Museum. I wanted to show in this video how I cut into the Dallas semiconductor modules to modify them. And normally I have some pretty aggressive tools for my Dremel that I normally go through and notch in these areas where this is the negative lead, and this is the positive lead here. And this is a module I've modified and put a very long cable on. That's possible under some circumstances where you can mount the battery so remote that if there's an adapter that goes in over the top of these, you can just pin down these wires or something to that effect. I did modify the module for my 55SX just to kind of show on how I go through, and I had to change orientation, but I'm here with the battery mounted on top. I've cut it a little bit into the housing, and that battery, the internal battery on the Dallas modules tends to be pretty deep. And of course, going through and modifying these modules, you do so at your own risk. I want to advise people, wear eye protection, wear breathing protection, mask if you're wearing masks normally for COVID-19, but to wear a dust mask because all the plastic dust when you cut into these modules with the Dremel kind of spreads out pretty good. But I've gone through and I've put a battery in here. I'm going to go through and I have a reference diskette in there, and I'm going to fire up and make sure that this modification works. Sometimes when I cut into these chips quite a bit, and the module was kind of sketchy before where I didn't know the history or not in really good condition, I've had the module fail for some reason. So it's always a test to go through and make sure that the system will configure. And it gave me the 162 error, 163 error. In this case, I didn't even have to, since I had the reference diskette in there, I didn't have to go through and press F1. There's a lot of time that the drive is almost silent as it goes through and reads the floppy, but it gave me the beep, gave me the initial splash screen, IBM, and reported what reference diskette this is. This is for the 55SX and 65SX. So it says configuration error. And then it's giving me, I'll go F8 for forward. Okay, and then the battery warning me about the weak battery, and then it's going through and running automatic configuration. And normally you have to run through this routine twice anyway, because the first step goes through if you run automatic configuration, and then the next step is going through for running saying the time and date. And still running automatic configuration. Okay, automatic configuration is complete. When enter is pressed, the computer restarts itself. I'm leaving the reference diskette in there because I want to go through and set the time and date on the next step. And this should go through and count to the full 16 megabytes since the system is configured now. And it counts through the 8 megabyte that's on the system planer rather quickly in this case, especially with that Cyrix clock doubled CPU that's in there. You can kind of see it right there. And then it counts the second 8 megabyte that's on this 2 through 8 adapter a little bit slower than it does for the regular system memory since it's on an adapter. Just passing 10 megabyte. Very slow process of counting that 8 megabyte of memory on that adapter. And that's the only adapter I have in there besides having the Procom Pira 55 riser that adds IDE to the system. Okay, up at 15, just a little bit more. Okay, 15,872. And then we get the splash screen for the Pira 55. And then I get a 163 since I have the reference diskette still in there. It's booting that again. Booted a little bit quicker this time since the system is configured. And the 163 is, of course, for setting the time and date. It's telling me continue until the main menu appears. Select set features, then select set time and date. So we do set features, set time and date. Okay. And it says the current date is January the 5th of 1987. So that's probably a BIOS state that's in there. So I'll go through and set it to the current date and the current time. Okay. Time and date have been updated on your computer. I press enter, F3 to exit, F3 to exit again. It tells me to remove the diskette. And then to restart the computer, I'm pressing enter. Going through and counting that memory once again. Okay, at the end of the 8 megabyte, it did the diskette seek before it goes through and is continuing to count the 8 megabyte that's on that adapter. That rather slow process again. As long as it completes successfully, I'm not worried. That's the true task, to make sure that we're not booting from the reference diskette in this case. As soon as it counts this remaining memory, we've got the time and date set correctly. We have the system configured, so we should not have any errors once it completes that memory count. And it should go through and boot to DOS, and then I could start my Windows for Workgroups 3.11. Okay, it's at 14 megabyte. Okay, almost through. Fingers crossed. And we have the Pyro 55 splash screen like we had in my earlier video showing the system configured. Starting MS-DOS. We did not have any errors come up. So it looks like we have a module that's in there now that I'm going to have remain in there, and I just swapped the batteries. And that's low enough profile. That's enough out of the way once I add adapters to the lower slots in this case. It'll just clear that lowest adapter with a little bit of space. And so we're set up really well now. And I'm all the way to the DOS prompt. So that part of the process is complete. I've got some other modules to convert. I'll probably show a little bit more on video as I go through and do the basic steps of those. That's all I have for now. This is IBM Museum. If you like this video, please show it in the appropriate place by clicking that like button. And please subscribe to my channel for more videos like this as I go through and show how to modify these old IBM systems and keep them running even today in 2020. Thank you. Bye-bye.